Hello friends, today we'll be learning a new chapter which is profit and loss. Now I would like you not just to study this chapter from exam point of view but also to relate with everyday life so that you can actually understand how shops work or how transactions happen, and it's really very interesting. Now I would like to give you the overview of my lecture. First we'll learn the basic terms which is profit, loss, CP and SP, and then we'll solve some questions based on these concepts, and then we'll move on to mark price, discount and successive discounts, and thereon we'll solve some questions related to these concepts. Now let us do our first part, which is profit loss and what is profit loss, CP and SP. Now if you can see this diagram behind me, consider this is a shopkeeper, this is you, the customer, and this is the manufacturer or a dealer. Suppose you buy a packet of chips from the shop. If you know the shopkeeper buys it from either from a dealer or a manufacturer, right? For example, if shopkeeper buys the packet of chips at rupees 10 from the manufacturer or the dealer and he sells it to you for rupees 12. What does that mean? That means he invested rupees 10 in that packet of chips and he earned rupees 12 out of it, or he earned 2 rupees extra. Now he has, after this transaction is complete, he has 2 rupees extra in his pocket. That is what we call as profit. That means he gained rupees 2 from this transaction. Right. Now suppose he buys it at rupees 10, the same price, but now he is not a smart businessman, therefore he sells it at rupees 8. Now what does that mean? That means that he invested rupees 10 in that packet of chips, and when he sold he got rupees 8 from customer. That means now he has 2 rupees less in his pocket. He lost 2 rupees during this transaction. So this is known as the loss. Now due to this transaction he has a loss of rupees 2. He has 2 rupees less in his pocket. Due to this transaction he has 2 rupees more. That means his profit is 2 rupees. He has 2 rupees more in his pocket. Now let us understand what is CP and SP. CP stands for cost price and SP stands for selling price. Now the price at which the shopkeeper buys an article or chips, packet of chips in this case, from the manufacturer, from the dealer or some other third party is known as the cost price, CP. That means why we say it as cost price, because it is the cost borne by the shopkeeper for that packet of chips. Now the price at which he sells that packet of chips to other person whom we normally call as the customer is known as, and that particular price is known as SP or selling price. In this case the cost price is rupees 10. Now when this transaction happens of rupees 12, in this case the selling price is rupees 12, because this is the price at which the shopkeeper sold it to the customer. When this transaction happens in which the loss was borne by the shopkeeper, the selling price is rupees 8 because it is the price at which the shopkeeper sold it to his customer. Now let us understand that what is profit percent or what is loss percent. Before that, if you have noticed something, that when this side price is greater than this side price, that means we are having a profit. That means when selling price is greater than the cost price, we are having profit, right? Because it's obvious, when you will sell something at a price more than the price at which you bought it from someone, you're going to have the profit. But if SP is less than cost price, or this price is less than the price at which the shopkeeper bought it from the manufacturer or some other party, that means we are having a loss. So now, how to calculate profit and loss? It is very obvious that the difference between these two amounts is profit or loss. For example, if we are having profit, then profit would be given by SP minus CP, because in case of profit, SP is greater than CP. So this would give us the profit. For example, we were having profit in this transaction, so can we write it as 12 minus 10 is equal to rupees 2. This is my profit. Now in case of loss, this price is greater. The amount you have invested in something is greater than this amount. So here we will write it as CP minus SP. For example, in this case, we have this equal to 10 minus 8, that gives us rupees 2. So when you sell it at rupees 8, you are having a loss of rupees 2. When you are selling it at rupees 12, you are having a loss or a profit of rupees 2. This was the condition that SP should be greater than CP for profit and SP should be less than CP for loss. And in case SP is equal to CP, if here was also 10 and here was also 10, we are neither earning anything, neither we are losing anything. So if I draw a line, if this is my CP and here lies my SP1 and here lies my SP2, right? In this case, we are having profit because CP lies ahead of SP lies ahead of CP. So here it is profit. And in this case, SP is less than CP, so we are having a loss in this case. So remember this, when SP is less than CP, we are having loss. And when SP is greater than CP, we are having profit. Now, let us understand what is profit and loss in terms of percentage. I shall rub this diagram so that I can have space. Now, I would write the formula and then I'll explain what does that formula mean. For example, profit percentage. When profit is expressed as percentage, it is equal to profit divided by CP of that article into 100. Or profit can be written as SP minus CP divided by CP into 100. Right? Now what is the logic behind this formula? First remember that always remember that here there would always be in the denominator CP. You cannot have any other thing in the denominator while we are calculating profit percentage. You cannot write CP as SP because profit percentage is always calculated when we take in reference to CP, our cost price, because this is the way it has been defined by whosoever defined it. And there is also a little logic behind this, because suppose you buy 10 packet of chips. You are buying from one source, that means you bought it at same cost price. So cost price is same for all those 10 chips. But suppose you are selling those 10 chips to 10 different customers, and maybe you may sell those 10 different chips at different selling price. So that means CP is generally always fixed, but SP may change. So we always write in denominator CP. We always calculate profit percentage in reference to CP. For example, in this case, the red one case, we were selling it at rupees 12 and we were buying it at rupees 10. So our cost price was 10 and SP was 12. So therefore our profit was rupees 2. So the profit is, according to this formula, what is the profit percentage? It is profit rupees 2 divided by CP. Our CP, the rate at this side, the price at this side was rupees 10 into 100, which is equal to 20%. That means my profit is 20% of CP, or I would like to write this, my profit is 20% of CP. What was my CP? My CP was rupees 10. 20% of 10 is written as 20 divided by 100 into 10. 20% of 10. 20 by 100 into 10. When we remove this percentage, we write in denominator 10. That comes out to be rupees 2. So 20% of CP is my profit. That means rupees 2 is my profit. Now let us see what is loss percentage. All you have to do is write loss instead of profit, and here you will write this formula, which is CP minus SP. Now in this case, CP minus SP, or my loss, is rupees 2. So again I will write rupees 2. My CP is fixed into 100. This again comes out to be 20%. So that means my loss is actually 20% of CP. 20% of CP. 20% of rupees 10, because CP is fixed in both the cases. So 20 by 100 into 10 gives me rupees 2. Now I'll explain you also one other perspective or one other way of writing, is that, for example, if I write SP is equal to CP, in this case I am not having any loss or any profit. So this case is no profit and no loss. CP, SP is equal to CP. Can I write this as SP is equal to 100% of CP? Because 100% of CP means 100 by 100 into CP. It can be anything. It will cut. So it is actually equal to CP, which I wrote over here. So that means when there is no profit, no loss, SP is equal to CP, I can write it as SP is equal to 100% of CP. Now let us say I am having 20% profit. That means I am selling my article at 20% more than CP. So SP is greater than CP, or can I write this as 120% of CP? Because 100% of CP is when both are equal, we are not having any profit or loss. So we wrote it as 100% of CP. When I am having profit of 20% more, therefore I wrote it as 100 plus 20. That means 120% of CP. And if I am having 20% loss, that means I am selling my article for 20% less than CP. I am selling it for 20% less than CP. So can I write this as SP is less than CP, or 20% less than CP means 20% less than 100. I will write this as 80% of CP. So this was another way of writing or showing you how to calculate your SP when you are having no profit, no loss, or profit or loss. Now let us move to our questions.